How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today's video might be a little bit different than normal, but at the same time, not really. I'm going to talk about 9/11, and it won't be from the point of view of the conspiracy theories. And trust me, I've seen everything, I've read everything, I've heard everything, every possible angle. The steel beams, the plane didn't hit the Pentagon, all of this and that and the third. I've gone through the rabbit hole many times over. I don't want to go down that road because at the end of the day, in my humble opinion, that's all speculation. It's a matter of, okay, I think this happened. I think that happened. I think this group funded it. I think this group was behind it. All of that is speculation. And before I go any further, I want to say rest in peace to all those that have passed away, not only during the attack, but in the years after the attack as a result of the attack. Now, I'm going to talk about my particular experience with 9/11, where I was, what I remember, the whole situation, and also the after effects in society. Let's go back to 2001, September 11th. I'm 16 years old, a senior in high school. I turned 17 that year, but at that particular point in time, I'm 16. I'm in my first block class. We had block scheduling, so I think we had 4 classes in the day for an hour and a half each. And I think I'm in keyboarding class. It might have been keyboarding or some other kind of computer related class. But anyway, we're in class doing our work, and I have a seat that's close to the door. Okay, so it's like a computer lab, and I'm facing my computer like I am right now. I'm facing the computer against the wall, and like 3 or so computers down, you have the door that leads outside to the hallway, which connects to the bigger hallway that goes throughout the entirety of the school. My school had 1,500 kids, and it's only high school, 9 through 12. But anyway, I see my teacher. I think he leaves out of the door and then comes back. But what I remember is him coming through the door with like this blank expression on his face, like he just saw a ghost, a deadpan type of look. And then he says that the World Trade Center had been destroyed. I'm like, what? What are you talking about? World Trade Center has been destroyed. The way he said it and his look, I kind of thought he was serious, but at the same time, I'm thinking, okay, maybe you saw a TV show and you thought it was real, but it's not really real, because you got to understand, this is totally uncharted territory for me and for everybody in my class and for my teacher, because you hear about bombings happening overseas, but you never hear about a thing like this happening right in your own backyard. So it was just kind of strange for me to even be hearing it. But after that, we kind of just sat and tried to do a work for a little bit. But very shortly after that, we saw a lot of traffic happening in the hallway. So we go out to the hallway, and there's TVs. Like, remember those TVs they bring into the class on the high stand? It's like 2 or 3 of those just right out there in the hallway on to the news. So we go out and we see what's happening on the news, and sure enough, you have all kind of carnage, chaos, death, destruction happening on the TV. And I'm like, wow, is this really happening? It's still, even though I'm seeing it, even though my teacher had informed me that it was going on, even though I know what's happening, it's still not really registering with me, because it's just so unreal. It's hard to actually think that it's happening, even though you see it right in front of you. So we see that for a while, and we're out there for quite a long time. I think we eventually go back to class and go back to work, and we'd go throughout the rest of the day kind of like looking at TV, and people making phone calls, because where I was in Virginia, you had a lot of New Yorkers that were there. People were calling their family, if I'm not mistaken, and trying to get all that situated. And we finished up the day, and then I come home. I talked to my mom about it. I'm asking her what's going on. We watching the news. Everybody's watching the news. Everybody's keying in on the news. Like, we're all watching what's going on TV. And then you had the Pentagon that got hit. You had the other tower that collapsed. So this was playing out over the course of many hours. I don't know if they canceled school that day or what. I can't really remember. I think we just had a class like normal, and then I went home after that, and I was talking about it, some more. After that day, you had a lot of patriotism happen. I remember those little small flags you could have on your car on the outside. Those were everywhere. The American flag sticker you can have on your car, you saw those on every single car all over the place. And I was seeing that for years. After that, years. I'm talking like '05 and '06, you were still seeing a lot of the flags and whatnot on people's cars that came from 9/11, that came from that particular point in time. It created a sense of patriotism, but it also created a sense of fear. I remember they had TSA that came after that to, investigate what's going on. People were kind of scared to fly. The quote unquote Islamophobia, all this and that. I mean, it's logical to think that if you board a plane and there's a guy with full Islamic dress on, and he's like, I remember one time there was a clip I saw. I don't know if this was close to 9/11 or that particular point in time. It might have been more recently, but it was a guy full Islamic dress screaming, Allah. It's like, look, man, we don't got no time for that. You about to get put off the plane right now, sir. So a lot of that was going on. It's natural to happen. You got a bunch of Islamic guys hijack a plane, kill 3,000 people. I mean, of course, you're going to look at a guy that looks like them and be like, okay, is everything good? You all right? So that was going on. But aside from that, I think what it did was let us know that we are not as safe as we think. We can get hit with a terror attack at any particular point in time. So there was a heightened sense of, I think, awareness. Remember, you had different terror alerts, orange and red and all kind of other colors. Remember that was going on. I think that's still happening. There are a lot of long-lasting effects. Like I said, you got TSA. You understand you're not really safe all the time. I think it made the airline industry a little bit more safe. That could be up for debate. Some would say, oh, it didn't make it any more safe. All it did make it more inconvenient. That could be an argument, but I think it made it a little bit more safe. And the carnage afterwards at the ground zero was crazy. I mean, people were covered in dust. That's what killed a lot of people afterwards, because they're breathing in that toxic dust from the rubble. People develop all kind of cancers, stomach cancers, lung cancers, and more, brain tumors. It was really crazy. You were seeing pictures of people jumping from the top of the trade centers. It was really crazy to watch. You were seeing video of it as well. It really just kind of changed Americans, or at least the American culture in certain parts of the country for a long time, if not permanently. And I don't really have too much more to say. I just want to say rest in peace to all those that passed away. And also my prayers out to the families of those that have lost loved ones that were affected by 9/11, especially in New York. I mean, you're talking about whole families affected. Everybody died. Whole companies, everybody passed away or was seriously injured, had some kind of cancer. The first responders, my heart goes out to you guys. A lot of you guys were lost, not only in the actual rubble that day, but also long afterwards. Years later, a gentleman just passed away this year that had been injured as a result of 9/11. He had a debilitating cancer and slowly just kind of declined after 9/11 was over. So that's pretty much all I got to say about it. What say you? Where were you when 9/11 happened? Do you remember? Were you young? Were you older? What was going on? Do you know anybody that was lost in 9/11? I don't know anybody, thank God, but I do know people who know people that were lost in 9/11 for sure. I know people that had family members that were killed, friends, co-workers, all of that. Hopefully you didn't have that happen, but if you did, let me know in the comments below. And how do you feel about the reaction to 9/11 from many in the media? I'm seeing all kind of things talking about, planes hit the World Trade Center. It's like, planes? Yeah, planes did collide, but it wasn't like the planes were autonomous and just were going on their own and hitting the World Trade Center. People were actually flying those planes. They were hijacked by Islamic terrorists. Let's keep it all the way real. Let's not try to act like that's not the case. And then I'm seeing, these panels from 9/11 talking about white supremacy and gun control. It's like, look, okay, I get it that you have your own little agenda to push about the white man, orange man bad, and gun control, this, that, and the third. I get it. But look, that ain't what this is about right now. We should be offering prayers to those that have passed away, to their families, and vowing that this will never happen again. But whatever your comments are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I gotta say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.